Good afternoon, I'm Iain from Iain Henderson Designs and welcome to my studio over in Bingley. I just thought I'd like to talk about my background to start with. This is my studio, so Chris has got a camera. I just want to have a quick pan around Chris and just show everyone what my kind of setup is. Gives you a bit of an idea what we're kind of offering over here. I have it sort of set up behind my shed, so Chris just do a quick flip around and my house is just behind us. So it's kind of set up there, so it's quite nice. So I thought I'd just start about talking a bit about my background. I've been designing and making jewellery for the last 24 years. I used to supply about 40 or 50 shops across the country, around the UK, which went really well, and then it got to a point when I was getting to ask to do more of the help with the shops and the designing, and then I was sort of doing more work than they were. So I was kind of getting a little bit disheartened with it and was thinking, well, what do I do? So Chris was behind the camera, he's a marquee company, and he kept sort of saying to me, Iain, you need to come do these wedding fairs. I think you'd be really good at them. I think you'd be really helpful. And I will tell me a bit more about it. And he went, well, it means working on a Sunday. I went, not sure I want to do that. Sundays means, day off normally. So he kept persuading me, and in the end I thought, well, actually, I'll go and try a couple out. Went and did them, and actually found it was great to talk to you guys direct. You can have a one-to-one conversation. You can get all my knowledge and my background, and we can sort of really work designs together, which is what I prefer doing now, rather than sort of supplying a shop and shop supplying you. So let's see where I've got to. What I'll talk about now is kind of, I've had this set up in this studio for the last sort of 10 years now. And we kind of, the way we normally would work is we'd set an appointment for you, you park on my drive on the front, and then I would come round to meet you, come in here, we'd have a chat at the table like this, normally about 1 to 2 people. So things haven't really changed for me, but obviously with all the PPE and everything going on, we've sort of set some more different things in place. So we've got the hand wash, just pan down that for me, Chris, down there. So what we do now is I'll still come around and meet you, but have all the doors open, the gates open, so you just walk straight into the studio, you can sit down, wash your hands, I'll wash my hands, but also if you want to start talking about anybody's rings, what we'll do is we've got a new UV sterilizer. So Chris, you want to just come and have a quick look at this? So you go into there, put one there, put it on, and it's about 2 or 3 minutes, but the UV kills 99.9% of germs, so it's a very good, effective way of us then being able to touch the rings safely between each other. So for me, I've not really changed a lot about how I've set up how we're doing it. It's just we put more cleaning processes and things like that. I would normally sort of show you upstairs. We've got the office on one side and the workshop. But obviously people coming can't see it, but what we're going to do today, we're going to show you a bit later on just what we're about and how our setup works, so you get to feel a bit more about what we're doing. So I thought I'd just talk to you about how I normally see me at wedding fairs, how we kind of talk about different styles of ring and what we're doing. So obviously for the ladies' side, we'll start with those first. You come, we'd have a chat about the engagement ring and what designs you'd like to put with it. So I've just got a few ideas out today, just to chat through about what I would maybe put with it and not put with it, and then gives you a bit of a feel. So today we'll start with an engagement ring. Yeah, focus on that, Chris. This is just a Solitaire diamond engagement ring. Classic kind of look. So there's a few things you could put with that. Normally I would say you could have pretty much a plain band, which looks okay, but it's a little bit on the boring side for me. There's not a lot of sparkle going on. So for me, I would spin this round, and we've got some flush set diamonds. Now for me, I always focus on the engagement ring. The wedding ring should always complement the engagement ring. Too big it overpowers it, too small it gets lost. So it is about finding the right scale. So that's a very subtle one. This one's a very thin band, which kind of sits well with this one, 1.8mm and 2mm on the wedding engagement ring. So this one here, slightly thicker, 2mm with the same 10mm diamonds on it. But as you can see, the small detail of this ring being flat and this one curved, for me, doesn't sit as well. So I will go back to this one and show you that again. In fact, I'll put it that way around so you can see both. And hopefully you can see the difference, just very subtle from 1.8mm to 2mm. One's got a curved profile, one's got a flat one. Now for me, I'm copying this design element on your engagement ring so it fits in better. So that's what I call a flush setting. Quite nice, understated piece to sit with the engagement ring. You could also then go into things on here. A channel set, which basically has the diamonds all set in a channel, all sat next to each other in the channel, and that can work quite nicely as well. Again, it's all about scale. If you went for argument's sake, I'm going to pick that up next, it's next to me, like that, you might think, well, actually that overpowers it, it's a bit too big on the wedding band and your engagement's getting lost. So it's all about scale for me. So that's your channel setting, and again, that side would look at different sizes of diamonds, what suits you. And then the last sort of one we look at is maybe a claw setting. So diamonds are almost pretty much touching, and it sits like that. Now a little bit for me, that could be a little bit too much going on, a bit busy compared to that style. But again, it's a personal choice. So that gives you the kind of the solitaire setting. And then if I go on to, you kind of got the diamond centre, you've got halo, and you've also got diamonds on the shoulders. Now if I go back to where we first started and show you a plain band, doesn't really do that justice. For me, that is pulling the rings apart, it's not really drawn together. If I spin that around, you see the smaller diamonds, it does help to link them a little bit, but it's not making the engagement really stand out for me. It's kind of pulling them apart again still. And even if you put the channel setting back in there, again, different style of setting, not really working on there, it's not what I'd like personally. The kind of perfect choice for me would be on this ring. So it's got matching the actual settings on the engagement ring and the wedding ring. So it's like giving you a perfect fit. And this engagement ring has been designed that actually you can fit underneath, from the sides, you can see it, so it actually will fit 2 rings. Not quite matching, but if you see what I mean. So we designed that engagement ring so the actual wedding band and the eternity ring will sit in together. No issues of having any shaping or anything like that, or gaps or anything. And I suppose I always do talk about to clients, which I know upsets the guys, but I ask, yeah, have you thought about an eternity ring with your wedding ring? Because a lot of clients will come to us and say, well, I didn't think about a wedding band when I was buying an engagement ring, it all got to be fit and done differently. And I said, well, have you actually thought about an eternity ring if you do want one or don't want one? Because if you do want one, it's a good way to look at it and see how it all fits together. Because you might end up with the wrong looking rings, so that is not going to give you an overall design package. For me, from a designer, I want to make sure I'm discussing all this with you and you're getting the exact designs you want, and we're going to future proofing the rings for you, so you're not getting the issues down the line. Another one here I've got is just a halo around the centre diamond. So a little bit like the classic, we've got the halo diamond there. Now this opens up your options a little bit more. So you could go into a plain ring, you could have potentially a little bit of that again on the flush setting, and then you could go in that as well. Like I said, it all depends what you want, wedding rings, eternity rings, things like that. So that gives you a bit of an idea on those wedding rings, the standard ones. And we do get a lot of clients that come to us who have got unusual shaped wedding band, engagement rings, haven't really obviously thought about how it all fits together. So I'm just going to chat through a couple of ideas how we can do that. One is making it by hand, and the other one is doing our 3D CAD design. So I'm going to start this one here, Chris. So this is an engagement that's got like a split shank, we call it, so it's separated there. So if you try to put a straight ring with that, you're going to get that kind of looking, which isn't really great. So one way we came up with this one is to like bend that into there, if that's wrong around. So it flows around the ring. One idea, and we can shape that by hand, making that one. The other idea is if you didn't want that kind of gaps around it, you could have it actually fit in perfectly together. Now if we made that by hand, you would have a join across this ring here, which isn't ideal. It creates a weak point. But this one we could actually bend it so it would actually fit. So it's always a good idea to sort of think about, if you get an engagement ring, how a ring's going to sit with it. This is one for the guys really, sort of thinking how a wedding band would fit with stuff. So again, we can make that out of a solid piece. It'll start with a solid ring, we'll shape that to fit. So if you've got one that is tricky and doesn't want to go shape round and it's got too many joins in it, it's got too many diamonds in it, you can't make it by hand. And the next one we do is like by a 3D CAD design, which is starting out by taking a wax, a 3D scan of your engagement ring, then design that for you, and you get to see that on the computer. In fact, I've got a couple here, Chris. I'll just put some out so you can see these. So this is a client's engagement ring that's been 3D scanned. You can see it in the white, and then we've designed a wedding band to fit to that. Now the idea with this one is it's got diamonds running through here, and we had a chat about, is it just a wedding band or an eternity ring you want? The client would like an eternity ring as well, so what we do is design the diamonds, so it goes diamonds playing diamonds. Then if we reverse it round, we can have diamonds playing diamonds. So in the future, we should be coming back to look at an eternity ring with this design. So we've done all the design work in the beginning to make sure that she's got no issues coming up down the line. This just gives you another idea how it all looks from a different angle. It's great because once we're creating on this wax, we've got the actual impression there on the computer. You can get really, really close. In fact, if you go too close, it lights up red, so we know we've gone too far. And that's just showing like a bit of a line drawing of it, how it all works. So it's a great way that you can actually visualise how the rings will look before it's actually made. So if it's a tricky piece and you don't really know, then that is a good way for us to actually show you how it's going to look. And we can work together to sort of see, well, if we alter this bit, how's it going to look? We can change this bit as well. So we're getting a little bit of that going on. It's a good way for you to be in control and about what you want to do. And a quick one over here again, Chris, if you come down to here, that's a wax one there. We've done the client's ring, we've actually made the ring. So these are two waxes. On that one, and that was a short process, so that's a wax, and that's being cast into the metal as a raw state, and that as a finished product. So you can sort of see it's a very accurate way of doing it. So that just going to give you a quick sort of rendition across the ladies' wedding bands. If I nip onto the gents one, I always ask the gents before we start doing what you're about, what's your hobbies, what's your lifestyles, because different metals suit different lifestyles. A lot of my friends in the building trade, so you can imagine being on a building site and you've got a nice, expensive, shiny platinum ring, it's going to pretty much get damaged very quickly. So you could go for a titanium ring, lightweight but super strong. It's got like a scratch finish already. So that's a good way of having a ring that's going to look that way in a week, so you might as well start looking at it from the start. And there's some different ideas down. Chris wanted to pan down those. You've got some hammered textures, finishes, different layers. You've got some inlays as well. So there's a lot of things we offer for the guys, what we can do. And also you've got some of the platinum as well, so you've got the platinum, palladium. At the moment we recommend not to go for palladium because it's gone so expensive. So really it's not the ideal metal to use if you're going to use platinum as a one forward. How do we have time, Chris?
About a minute now.
Any questions coming up that I want to answer?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think there's enough on there. Let's just quickly nip upstairs. Chris, just give them a show, look round upstairs and show the workshop and the studio. If we've got time, then we might get cut off. First time I'm doing one, so I've got a little bit over, but there you go. There's a few examples on the wall, you might just skip past it and make clients. This is into our studio office up here, so we've got like these three of us at Don and Asher. Obviously we're on furlough, so we can't really do that. And then into our workshop, kind of the magic happens in here. We've got set up in here. Got the two benches, we've got the equipment here to make it in there. And then into polishing room. Give you a quick run around, so we've sort of shown you. So we are more about getting you guys involved, working with us, coming in. We're sort of for my. I suppose what makes it different from the high street is like we will create each ring for each client, so you get your own ring made for you, rather than having to pick one off a shelf. So it's all tailored to what you want, and we work to your budgets, and work it that way rather than it's let's say something's been off a shelf or it's a mass-produced piece.
Yep. I think your questions are coming in, not really questions, they're just complaining
Right, well,
how
for
good
the
it is.
questions, I'll come back to them after and try and answer you. But if anyone wants to give me a call, book an appointment. We are getting quite busy now. Booking, we're going to be reopened this week. So if anyone wants to come and see us, you're more than welcome. It'd be great to have a chat in a safe environment, one-to-one. Thank you very much. Oh, nearly there. Thank you. Don't forget to give a call.